really only here for one day, actually. It was a good show. There was about 3,000 people, and we remember the fans being very much into the music. You know, unfortunately, like I said, we were really here so quick. I wish we would have had more time to spend in the city or in the country, because it's very nice, very great people, very beautiful country, and we've had more time here, you know, this time around, which is good. But I'm sure the show will be as sick as it was in '94 when we were here last time.
It was awesome. It was 3,000, 4,000 people, and everybody was going sick. You know, jumping up in the crowd, flying over the guardrail. Slamming, a lot of chanting too. It was really, I think, is a big thing down in South America, like, you know, Cannibal. Yeah, it was really cool. It was a great show, so I think tonight's going to be a really killer one too. I mean, it's a nice place, and hopefully it'll get packed up, ready for some death metal.
Well, the big one, obviously, is George in the band now. That's the biggest difference, really. I mean, I think we musically, we like to think that we're trying to progress a little bit in writing, I guess, and writing better songs as we go. We feel that these songs are the strongest that we've written, you know, up to date. So, I mean, when, like, that would be the biggest difference, though, is George in the band, because when we wrote those songs, they weren't written with George in mind at first, because Chris was still in the band, you know, so we kicked him out in the middle of recording and had to rewrite lyrics and work George into learning the songs.
What does exactly happen with Chris?
Basically what I said, like I said, we went into the studio to record the album, and Chris was all ready to go. He had his lyrics, and he was, you know, ready to lay down vocal tracks. And we were really disappointed, you know, when he went in and started to do the songs. It was very redundant. Everything, yes. The lyrics, we were really disappointed with the lyrics. We were disappointed with his voice. We were disappointed with his patterns, you know, the way where he put the words. So we needed a big change, and he really wasn't willing to change. He thought he was doing, you know, it great, you know. If it was up to him, he would leave it the way he would have sang it, and it would have been the best to him. But to the rest of the band, it wasn't. And we had a lot of bad blood over the years, you know, with him trying to run the band and you know, just making a lot of decisions on his own, which, you know, really could eat away at the inner, you know, strengths of the band, you know, the relationships. And it got to a point where we just said, it's time to move on. We'll get somebody, you know, that's gonna, you know, better the band, and we did. North America, with the Misfits, Anthrax, and Life of Agony actually did half the tour, and that was really a good experience for us, playing in front of maybe a lot of different people that would not normally see Cannibal Corpse. You know, a lot of Misfits fans, a lot of Anthrax fans, and we pulled our own fans as well. So, and it was great. You know, the Misfits are great guys. Anthrax are really receptive. You know, they like our bands, and it was a lot of fun. And we really think it was a good experience for the band.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that tour is 4 different bands. So, you know, I mean, you know, it could have really been crazy and disastrous depending on, you know, how rowdy the crowds were going to be towards each band. But I think everybody got along. There was a few instances where some people got hit with bottles and stuff, but for the most part, I mean, it was a really good tour. I think it helped the show prove that, you know, death metal bands can tour with other bands, you know, and can hold their own and can be beneficial for, you know, a bigger tour.
He's sang for Monstrosity, and Monstrosity lives in Lee, the drummer, which is the main man in Monstrosity, lives in Tampa, where we live. So George would be down in Tampa a lot, and Rob, our guitarist, actually lives with Lee. So it was easy to get a hold of George. You know, all we had to do was call him up and ask him if he wanted to join.
Yeah, Rob's had my number for a while. You know, we were talking about doing some things, you know, like on the side, you know, besides Monstrosity, and with him besides Cannibal. So he had my number up in Maryland, and, you know, that's where I'm originally from, in Baltimore. And he called me up, well, actually, Alex called me up, but he got the number from Rob because, I give it to Rob. I've known him for since when I first came down to Florida to be a Monstrosity. Rob was in his band Solstice.
So, and I think we have a lot more in us, I mean, we all have big imaginations when it comes to that. I think we're all fans of horror and gore and fiction and all that. And I think there is a lot of different ways to express horror and gore. I really think, like I said about Chris. Chris wrote a lot of the lyrics, and he started to get really redundant. I mean, there's a lot of songs on Butchered at Birth and Tomb of the Mutilated, and I mean, those albums where Chris wrote, they could, there are a lot of alike lyrics. And I think exactly, and if you listen to Vile and read the lyrics for Vile, they're all different and they're all fresh. We've all written those lyrics. So I think when the next album comes along, I mean, I only wrote 2 songs, full songs myself, so I think I have a few more songs I can write, and Alex and George, and we all have plenty of ideas that are different than what we've done, but yet still brutal and sick. I think there's a lot to be done with it,
Yeah, more with like now, like as with the song Bloodlands, it's more of a horror story. Whereas, a lot of the lyrics in the past were just, all of them were gory and kill, blood, death, which isn't bad, and there will be more of that. But now it's more like we could actually expand and write a song that's like a horror movie, just wrapped into a song.